Today we're going diving. We're at Balandra. A friend of ours, Chris Dennis, has invited us to go spearfishing with him. It's Christian, Reece, myself, and Chris heading out. This is gonna be on the East Coast. Probably we want to dive the inside because we don't feel like driving out far today. We don't feel like diving in deep water. So maybe the 30 to 60 foot range is what we're targeting. Nothing really deeper than that. Hoping to get some snapper, Cubera snappers, grouper, mutton snappers, and hogfish. Conditions look nice, as you can see. So hopefully we get a good day.
That last clip was the first fish that we caught for the day. Chris Dennis put it on the boat. It was a dog snapper. Great way to start the day considering that was one of the target species. Unfortunately, Chris didn't have a camera on him for the entire day, so a lot of his fish weren't filmed. But we still have some good footage. We're going to dive straight into the other dives. I have footage of Reece and myself. Here's my first fish. On this drop, I saw a really nice dog snap on the way down, which is kind of hard to see, but you could kind of see it far in the distance. And just as I was setting up to get a good spot, I looked to the right and I had a nice mutton snapper that sneaked in a hole next to me. Got the shot in. Had a little struggle with the spear there, but I got it out thankfully. And I was making these grunting noises because I was trying to get Reece's attention, to let him know that the other big dog snapper was in a hole just next to me. I didn't realize that he was directly on top of me. So we had a mid-water collision. Not a bad first fish for me. I was pretty happy with that nice mutton snapper. So I got the snapper in the boat. While I was fixing up my gun to get back in the boat, I looked down and I was passing over a really nice reef again, and I saw a couple snappers, so I headed down quickly and I actually got a nice lineup on a Cubera snapper. So I didn't have the camera on my head because Reece had it from filming the last fish. So all we got is the footage when I brought it in the boat. Next up, Chris got a really nice barracuda, which was his second fish of the day. It ended up being the biggest fish of the day, a pretty good sized fish too. He fought it up from the deep, brought it up to the surface, got it under control, and we got some shots with it and put it in the boat. So on this next drop, I had a little bit of a funny decision making. I headed down to the bottom, and as I was heading down, I saw a pretty decent barracuda way off in the distance. So I knew I had to get to the seafloor. So that was the priority. I got down to the seafloor, and as you can see in the distance, there's a small black grouper creeping towards me. You can see it just there, starting to get closer and closer, and I look to the left, and you'll see the barracudas just now. There's two of them. There's one close, but I was looking at the one further away, which was a bigger size barracuda, and then I was like, barras or grouper? Barra? Or grouper? Maybe the barracuda, a little bit too far. Should probably get the grouper. And I end up getting the grouper. I thought it was a little bit small initially, but after getting it in the boat, I realized it was a pretty decent sized one. It wasn't big by any means, but it was definitely big enough to take home. Next up was Reece's first fish of the day, a dog snapper. I don't know what was going through Reece's head, so I can't really narrate exactly what he's thinking. But I mean, you can just watch the video and you can see, he dives down, finds a nice spot where he's comfortable, gets onto the bottom, and the dog snapper swims up to him and he puts the shot in. Get up to the surface and we get the fish in the boat, and it's a pretty nice dog snapper.
Yeah, we have plenty of store. Yes, Rista! Fuel Pag Special.
The next video clip is me going down on a new spot. Took my time, headed down, I reached the bottom. Pretty active bottom, a lot of fish, a lot of small fish, which is good. Didn't see anything that really stood out, but I did see a nice hogfish. So I lined up the shot, and he didn't want to turn, so I gave him a little grunt. And then I got the shot. The next video clip is me again, headed down on a new spot. It had a lot less snapper in this spot, so not really what we're looking for, but I did see a barracuda, and as you could observe, it's extremely hard to see barracuda sometimes. You can see how stealthy this fish came in, but he came in, he turned and he gave me the shot, and I landed it. This next video clip is me dropping in the same area. I headed down to the bottom and found my spot that I wanted. Saw a really nice school of barracudas, and I thought my camera was off, so I pressed the shutter button and it's on one touch. So it processed the file, saved it, turned off the camera, and I realized what was happening because I could hear it beeping. So I had to wait for it to stop doing that, then I had to press the button again, and I had to wait for the camera to turn on and start recording. Luckily the fish was still around, lined up my shot on the fish that I was choosing, and pulled the trigger. Nice spine shot, I was pretty happy with that, and we landed that fish.
Recorded or stop? Where they want that?
Next drop is me coming down on a spot. I had a nice Cubera that approached me while I was heading down to the sea floor. I didn't get a shot on it because I wasn't happy with the angle that I had. So I took my head down, which is why it comes out of the camera view, because I didn't want it to see my eyes, which is typically what I do for snappers, and I turned around and I got the shot. During the same drop, I didn't realize, but Reece was not too far away from me. He made a drop and ended up shooting a really nice hogfish. So, new drop, new spot, and it's me on the camera, heading down to the bottom, minding my own business. See a nice barracuda in the distance, and I'm just looking for a spot for me to hit the floor and get in a nice comfortable position where I could properly hunt the fish. And guess who shows up? So Reece actually dropped down a little closer to the fish, and I didn't see him initially, and here's his footage. Next video is me again, heading down on a new spot. Found some nice dog snappers. When I was coming down, the one that I wanted actually came close enough for a shot, but I'm upside down trying to get to the seafloor. So it's kind of hard to shoot fish upside down. So I kind of track the fish until I turn around and I'm right side up, and that's when I pull the trigger.
Here at Pagor. But it's a fish, fellas. Make it home.
Last spot of the day, and it's me on the camera again. jump in the water and I head down. A couple of nice yellow jacks swim by, but I'm still looking for these dog snappers or cuberas. Hit the reef and I see a decent cubera come from deep up into the shallow. Try to line up the shot, didn't get it there, line up the shot there, and it is called out the old Miskalele. Thankfully Reece had a little bit of better luck on his drop, and here's his footage. He shot a nice dog snapper. Now this next video is my last fish of the day, and it ends up being pretty funny. So I get down to the seafloor and I see a cubera in the distance. Now I try to get as flat as possible to get it to come closer, and I reach out. And he moves a little fast there, so I didn't pull the trigger. Now here's the funny part. I get him to turn around and I try to pull the trigger there. And I try to pull the trigger there again. I was pretty sure that I took the gun off of safety on the dive down, on the way down. So when I first pulled the trigger, it didn't register that the gun was on safety in my head. So that's why I thought the trigger jammed, which would be a pretty weird thing to happen to a rifle, because that's pretty much never happened with my rifle. So I pulled the trigger again, which then made me look at the safety, and I was like, oh, it's on safety, and I switched to fire. I stayed low, and the cubera turned around one last time, which was his final mistake.
Nice tail shot.
Yep. You go real laugh when you see that video. That video, it's me, pull trigger. I was like, if I gun on safety, pull trigger again. I was like, alright, my gun is on safety, take it off and shoot it. Real cooking out.
Last drop of the day, and I saw nothing. Went down, heard the trigger pull, I looked across, and it was Reece. He shot a nice yellow jack. Good fish to finish on. We love yellow jacks, one of my favorite fish to eat. We put that in the boat, and that was the last fish of the day.
Give me the daily summary.
It was a fun day. Broken spears, current, running out of gas. Yeah.
It wasn't all that bad, we caught some fish. We're alive and we're heading home. Reece, what you gotta say?
We are alive, no sir, we ain't reached home yet.
What? I am optimistic. Once again, Reece has shot the most fish. Nah, but it was a fun day. Got some food and probably paid back for gas, so it was good. Ew!